Hey everyone, welcome to today's talk, where I'll share one of the most important skills I've learned as a healthcare professional. That is patience. And trust me, if you work in medicine, patience is not just a virtue, it's a survival skill. I'll share some stories, and maybe you'll walk away with a new appreciation for your doctor or nurse. You know how they say patience is a virtue? Well, in healthcare, it should be on the job description. It's not just about having patience with yourself or the situation. It's often about having patience with your patients. Now, I'm not saying I was born patient. Oh no. I have been tested, pushed to the edge, and there have been moments when I've really had to remind myself why I chose this career. Let's dive right into a story. Imagine this, it's 2 a.m., you have had a long day. Finally, you are going to the bed and you are deep into dreamland. Suddenly, your phone rings. It's a patient who has been sick for an entire week. But guess what? They haven't seen a doctor. No. They have been relying on traditional remedies. And now they are calling you in the dead night with complications. Now, this is the moment where your patience is really tested. You might be thinking, you've had a week to handle this. Why now? And honestly, sometimes you want to scream or maybe hang up, but you don't. Why? Because deep down you remember that compassion is part of the job description. Here's another thing I've learned. Patients will almost always do the opposite of what you advise them. You could tell them to take their medication twice a day, uh, drink a lot of water, and avoid certain foods. But what happens? They skip a few doses, stay dehydrated, and then eat the one thing they shouldn't. And then they look at you like, Doc, I don't know why it's not working. It's at times like this that you have to laugh, of course, internally. But over time, you learn to expect it. I've even started giving advice while thinking to myself, let's see what creative way they'll twist this one. One trick that keeps me grounded in these situations is simple. I imagine that the person calling me in the middle of the night is my mother, my sister, my brother, or even my grandmother. I know it's a small shift, but it works wonders for me. Suddenly, I feel more patient, more compassionate, and more willing to help. And once you have helped, the feeling of relief that washes over you is worth it. So that's how I do it. I don't know what's your coping mechanism. At the end of the day, it feels good knowing you have made a difference, no matter how frustrating the path to get there may have been. Let's not forget the classic case of the self-diagnoser. You know, the patient who walks into the clinic convinced they have the most exotic illness they read about on the internet. They have done their research and they are ready to argue their case. You sit there knowing they likely have something simple like a cold, but they are fully convinced it's something rare or chronic. Now, you could get frustrated, you could lose your patience, uh, but instead, calmly explain what really is going on and walk them through it. In the end, I've realized that most patients just want to feel heard. And by exercising patience, you build trust, which is key to being a great healthcare provider. Another test of patience comes from, well, waiting. You know that situation where you are waiting for lab results. I don't know, maybe lab people. Why do lab results take long? Or you are standing by as a patient takes their time making a decision. It's kind of like when you are in the line at the supermarket and the person in front of you is paying with M-Pesa and it's taking long, or the M-Pesa is not working. You could get annoyed or frustrated at that time. Being a healthcare professional can feel like that sometimes. But here's the thing, over time, you learn to accept it. Waiting becomes part of the job. And who knows, maybe that extra moment of waiting gives you the clarity you need to make the right call. Patience is not just important for dealing with patients. I'll say this again. It's important for your own growth. In this field, you are constantly learning, adapting, facing new challenges. You won't master everything overnight, but with patience, you'll find yourself improving day by day. And that's something to be proud of. At the end of every day, after the frustrations, the long nights, the tough calls, and yes, the opposite, doing patience, I find myself living with a smile. Why? Because I know that even when I'm tested, even when my patience is running on fumes, I'm making a difference. And that's what makes it all worth it. So if you are in the medical field or thinking about it, remember this. Patience is not just about waiting or tolerating. It's about understanding, empathy, and seeing the bigger picture. And maybe it will help you keep your sanity along the way. Thanks for sticking around, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the medical world. Stay healthy, stay patient, and see you next time.